Big pile to cut up there. Kind of noisy. So I wanted to talk about, get lots of questions asked about the teeth on the mill and what happens when you hit something. I don't know if you could see that or not, but that there's the tooth you replace. So what happens is, this is in a V-track, and this cams out, and you can see that little nub right there. You put that in there and see the little V. If you can see that V or not, you can see a little bit better on that one. You just cam it right back in there again, and it hooks in and presses right into the blade. So anyway, that's kind of how you replace the teeth on this animal. If you happen to hit a nail or something bad, and you need to change the tooth on it. The ones I run are carbide. They got, I don't know if you can see the carbide right there. That's the carbide tip. You can kind of see the transition of color. That's the carbide. And then they call this a holder that holds the tooth in place. This is the actual blade part. And the big washer, there's a collar. That big old nut holds the blade on. Now, just roll through here real quick. My power's coming off and running this pulley. And then I have another pulley set up here running a pump. It's kind of set up to run my log turner. Turns that log around there. And actually that's another bearing. And then I got a pulley out here, and that's running what they call blower units. So it sucks the chips up out, blows them out the side here. Otherwise you have a bunch of chips. Even with the blower I still have lots of chips, as you can see. And my mill's got two carriages on it, and what it is, you can hook these together. I don't know if you see that. It's like a PTO shaft there I rigged up on there. And that turns your set works for them knees. Then they all move out in unison. I had a video before I had both of these hooked up together, and them roosters sure loud. Anyway, I had them hooked up together, and I could cut up to 35 foot in length when I got them put together with all this track. So it's hard to find 35 foot long timber that's straight to cut, but they do make it. And this turned into a shelf, but anyway, this is a mill planer. So I don't know if you can see the teeth in there or not, but I got it hooked up to a motor out of that's out of one of them AC units, out of like a cooler unit out of a semi truck, a little diesel engine. And this unit here is out of a Diamond Rio truck. That's where this motor come off of. Glenn Jarvis sold the truck to me, and I put in a knuckle clutch. That's actually the frame off the truck. And that's the radiator support and all that. So it's a 671 Detroit. I'm sure you guys, all you gearheads, are familiar with this thing. It's just an old straight 6 Detroit, nothing special. They don't put out a pile of horsepower. And matter of fact, this has actually got the smaller injectors in it. And with the smaller injectors, they put out a little bit less. I think this is set up for 218 horsepower or something like that. And then I got another power unit over there for backup, just in case. But let me do this little panel here. It's restarts. It does have an air pump on it. Put a GM alternator on there so I can charge it up. But nothing. Actually, it's a pretty rudimentary system. The way this mill works is when you move that lever. I don't know if you can see that gang of belts underneath there. And maybe some of you guys are familiar with it. Maybe you ain't. But it puts tension on them belts. So then that shaft comes through here, and that runs your winch line that pulls that log back and forth here. That cable's winding up on there, pulling that log back and forth into the blade, or away from the blade, or whatever. And then I've got a little get up here. I don't like to hear that Detroit scream all the time, so I that's my high idle. I don't know if you can see it down there moving. I'll hit it again. That throttles her up. So I ain't got to hear that thing screaming. Well, I got a lot of pine to cut. For my mom and dad here. They wanted to see her rip and roar. And that's one of the pine logs I'm getting ready to zip up here. So I'm making 2x6s right now out of all that pine for a barn project I'm doing. So today's my brother's birthday, and he was into this YouTube stuff and pretty heavy, and he kind of got me tied into a little bit, so I'm really green at this. Don't know too much about it. I'm going to try to get this posted online. Don't know if it'll make any sense or not, or maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anywho, I'm going to cut this log up so that way Mom and Pa can see me. They've been wondering if I posted any videos, and well, here we go. I guess I'm going to post one. So for those of you who got any questions, it's really, I guess it's pretty simple, I guess. I am going to kick the lights on so that way you can see a little bit better. And then I don't know what angle I can put this thing on to where I can, you guys can see a little bit better, but we'll try to. My daughter had a camera down here once too, watching, but I don't. I'm guessing. Well, I'll figure out a way to set this up and I'll turn it back on.